to the members' meeting to get underway. The flag falls and away we go, and it's a good start from all three front row. James Thorpe on the outside, oh, he gets a bit of a wobble there, and Roger Wills has got the edge. Yes, it's Roger Wills in number 124, and it's Bonamy Grimes who was on pole. He's taking second place. James Thorpe missing out a little bit after a decent early start, but then had a bit of wheel spin, and then a great battle behind. John Spears is running behind in the number 88.
Sam, the number 17 lister that you can just see there, actually got a great getaway, but I think he was boxed in between Roger Willis and James Thorpe, and wasn't able to make moves forward, had to back out of the throttle. He's now battling with the number 78. That's Alex Brundle, a driver that's fast in any car that you put him in. So let's also keep an eye out for Alex Brundle's cars go through the first part of St Mary's, now into the second part with our leaders down up at Lavant.
Absolutely, and it is Roger Wills still with that advantage from the centre of the front row, number 124, that has the lead at this stage, but Bonamy Grimes not far behind. And watch Julian Majoub, there you are, number 22. Lovely to see him making his way, because he started right down at the back of the field. Let's see how far he can take this car as we go through this race. It will be fascinating to see how much progress he makes.
It will, and this car actually ran at Goodwood twice in 1957, so it's had a great experience of going around Goodwood. Whether Julian has had experience going around in this car, that's a question to be had, but I think he is actually the owner, so I certainly wouldn't expect him to have been round this track in it at least. But out in front, Willis is holding the lead from Grimes in second, and then third is Thorpe, slightly further back, 3.2 seconds the difference to Grimes in second.
You're watching Andy Wallace in one of the D-types there, as there we are once again watching Julian Majoub. So what position is he as he's come over the line? He's up into 22nd position, having started at the back, and it is a rare car, isn't it? It's not a common car, that one.
It certainly isn't, and Julian's had plenty of experience of going around Goodwood, as you touched on, Ben, earlier, that he's raced in many categories over the weekend, over the course of his Goodwood running, and he's desperately trying to clear those in front of him. He's kicking up a little bit of dust on the inside, but he's going to slide down. Is he? Yes, just about goes through past the number 19. That's one of our Jaguar D-type long nose. So he's past the 19. He's now going up the pretty steep hill into Lavant, and I always love with Julian, because he always wears that open face, I'm going to call it old school helmet, so you can really see every single expression on his face.
Yeah, and it is the Sadler Chevrolet that he's driving, so you've got some really useful horsepower in it, there's no doubt about it, but it's also a beautifully balanced car, but it is a very rare machine. So let's just see where Julian Majoub can get to. Meanwhile, it is still a battle up front. Look at this, because Roger Wills is coming under pressure once again from Bonamy Grimes, the two that were very close to each other in qualifying. The gap between them, it had gone up to half a second by the end of qualifying, with Bonamy being that fraction faster. But in this race right now, you've got to say Roger Wills is doing a fine job of just holding his position. He's going to make it hard work for Bonamy to try and make a move, but there's still plenty to play for here.
He is. Roger's actually in the slightly older of the climaxes that you can see there. So his is from 1958, whereas Bonamy Grimes is from 1959. But doesn't seem to be holding him back at all at the moment. As we look at that, Grimes is fighting the rear of the car, then is all over the curb on the inside of Lavant corner, and I think he's actually lost a chunk of time in that middle sector, but he's going to duck into the toe of his fellow Lotus Climax as they stretch all the way up Lavant Straight. Through the kink they'll go, and then heavy on the brakes into Woodcote Corner, a corner that has caught many drivers out in all categories over the weekend.
Yeah, that Climax engine sits in the front and it's leaned over. That was one thing that Colin Chapman, who designed these cars, did to try and reduce the front end of the car, the height of the front end, and it had to work. It did work extremely well. Now, a little bit further down the order, we've got some other battles going on. The Lola Mark 1, we just saw a moment ago, the number 57 and Nick Fernborough. But we're also looking at some other interesting machinery. Mr. Jack Nobley, the yellow one. It's a Belgian national yellow livery. Sean Lynn in that car at the moment. And Sean, of course, and we've got a problem for the number 4 Maserati. Stephen Rattenmeyer is going rather slowly there. That's a disappointment to see. Meanwhile, Michael Birch in the number 21 Lotus Climax 15 is definitely under a bit of pressure here from Sean Lynn, although he's not going to make it into Madgwick.
Another mover to look out for is Alex Brundle up into 6th place in the number 78, so he'll be looking to make further progress up the field. You can see the number 8 on your screen. That's one of our Lister Chevrolets under pressure from a Lotus Climax, so both of those have made some progress further up the order, and down the inside goes the number 94. Nice move.
Absolutely, and actually keep an eye on this number 94, because it didn't get to do in qualifying what it was hoping to do, because Richard Wilson had a problem with it, didn't he? He pulled over very early on in qualifying, so he's actually started down at the back, and he's making up a lot of progress, which doesn't surprise me too much, because he's always been very, very rapid. He's got up into, what's that, 10th place now, isn't it? 11th place that he's got into.
Place, yeah.
Yeah, so that is very impressive, and whether he can catch the leaders, because they now are quite a long way ahead, but he has the pace, potentially, same sort of pace as the two leaders, Roger Wills and Bonamy Grimes.
He does, but this is our number 17, who I mentioned earlier on, got a very electric start from the second row of the grid. One of our Lister Nobblies, that's the sound behind the wheel, but he's coming under pressure from the number 69 that's filling up his mirrors, the Cooper Climax T49 Monaco. Great shots of the 82nd members meeting banner as one of the Maseratis files flew shot, and there's Julian Majoub that's cleared those cars that we saw him battling with early on.
Yeah, he's got up to, oh dear, 18th place. What was that? It's part of an exhaust pipe or something?
Like a bit of the exhaust pipe. I'm not sure which car that come off of.
Is it this? No, I don't think it's this one, but this is, of course, the second boat did come off. It came off Bonamy Grimes. So the car that is currently running in second place, let's get a, oh yes. So let's have another look at this. Bobbling about and then just comes off. That might not actually cause any problems. Thankfully, it didn't hit any other cars. An exhaust pipe that doesn't go out doesn't hopefully affect the actual exhaust coming out of the engine.
No, that should be all right. He should be able to continue quite nicely. But as you said, it's very lucky that it didn't fly out in front of any of the cars, but clearly didn't want to be part of this race anymore.
No, that's right. So now this is the battle for 8th place at the moment, and currently it is Hassan, Saif Hassan, who's holding on to that in a car that was raced by Martin Gregory in period. Was a winner at the Spa event, what was called the GP of Spa, but he's under massive, massive pressure there, which he just manages to fend off from Justin Mayers in the Cooper Climax T49, but now he is also being passed by the man we mentioned, Richard Wilson, who's gaining more places once again. Yep, and Richard Wilson is up one more place, so he's well inside the top 10 now, and there are more places for him to try and chase.
We've already seen one driver come from the back of the grid yesterday in the Gurney Cup, and that was Frank Stifler. Yeah. Roger's going to hope that he's going to repeat the same thing, but he's got a tough mountain to climb. His gap to the leaders is over 29 seconds, but he's making good progress. He's getting a couple of spots.
He is. He's doing a great job. He might... Oh, and off. There goes a bit of a problem for the Lister Jaguar costing of John Spears. Let's hope that John can get... Yeah, it looks like he's going back on again. So
he's in 4th.
Yeah, that's right. So he is losing out some very valuable places here. Oh, yeah, he's dropped outside the top 10. Meanwhile, let's just see, is there going to be more progress for Majoub as well in the number 22 car? He is hoping that he might be able to get up into the top 10, although that might be a little bit more of a challenge. We shall have to see. He is ahead now of the number 41 car, but they are running down in 17th and 18th places. The 41 is Mark Donner, and he's raced quite a few Goodwood events over the last few years. Oh. Yeah, back markers now for the leaders. Back
markers will play a part, and I don't know, he puts his hand up. We can imagine what words might be going underneath that helmet there, but that's cost him quite a lot of time, has it, Wills, to Grimes. The gap was at 1.9 seconds. That's certainly from the eye. Don't need a stopwatch to see that has certainly come down. He's got more traffic, and he's going to catch it going to Levant. Hopefully the 81 has seen him. Yes, he has. So that's our Ferrari 250 TR that's allowing him to sail on through, and unfortunately for Grimes, he's going to catch him on the exit of Levant, so that just will have delayed his throttle application, delayed getting a decent exit down the straight.
Yeah, so that makes the gap just that little bit longer again, so it's still a tough battle this for Bonamy Grimes, who was the faster qualifier, but now that gap that he's got to Roger Wills is going to be very difficult to close down if possible. James Thorpe is still running in third, but he's quite some way behind these two. The gap now up to 10 seconds between Grimes and Thorpe. So these top two across the line, completing another lap, just under 10 minutes to go. It is between these two. And of course, we've seen in one of these earlier races two leaders battling away, and then if one makes a mistake, that can make all of the changes. So you've got to try and keep it as neat as possible. Little battle going on. This is just outside the top 10 as Sean Lynn in the number 9 machine trying to make a pass if possible, but it is actually the Michael Birch Lotus Climax 15 which is holding him off at the moment.
He is, so a nice battle going on between these two drivers, slightly further down the order than I'm sure they would like to be, but who's that's coming to join in the background? That's our number 14, the Cooper Climax. That's Oliver Crossway. He'll be hoping that this battle for them can continue, and he can really capitalise on them slowing each other down. And interestingly, the 14 was built in 1959, and it was originally supplied with the Coventry Climax engine, but that suffered severe breakage, so was removed. But heading into Ford Autumn now, the 14's dropped off the back slightly, but the 21 and the 9 keep going, keep putting up the pressure.
Yep, let's see how this goes. It's lovely to see this contest between vehicles, cars that are really quite different in many ways. And right now we're seeing that the Lotus Climax 15 is a very small little car, but very rapid through the corners. And at the moment it is fending off the Lister Jaguar Nobly. They are from the same sort of period, though, the late 1950s. But actually both of these are 1958 cars, built for slightly different races, perhaps. Certainly Le Mans was good for the likes of the Lister Jaguars. They certainly had a bit of more of an attempt at that sort of 24-hour race, but the Lotus Climax 15s also were vital machinery at the time. No luck at Le Mans for those Lotus Climax 15s back in period, but they were certainly very competitive in some of the other sports car races of the time, and they're competitive now, aren't they?
They are, but Roger Wills at the front of the field has set personal best, actually, and fastest overall of anybody in the first sector. So he's seen Grimes hunting him down and closing that gap. A couple of laps ago it was a second, now it's 1.4, and if he has a smooth run through these last couple of sectors, he will increase that gap more over. And this car, the 124, was also actually raced in period with Roy Salvadori, so it would be pretty special for it to take the win. But he's caught up with the 19. That's going to be our lapped car, one of our Jaguar D-types. He just about moved out the way. Benjamin Eastick there, well-known car, with actually Benjamin earning this car over 29 years.
Yeah, John Saunders just pulling off. Now, it looks to me as though that may well be some kind of mechanical issue. Or no, I don't know, actually, because he's going back on. It might have been an error.
Spin, possibly. Yeah. We'll have a look. Oh, hang on. That
was under braking, wasn't it?
That is. Whether he...
seemed to lock the rears.
Yeah, went into potentially the wrong gear on the way down there. They don't have flappy paddles like our modern race cars, our modern sports cars, which adds to them being ever more difficult to drive. Look at the battle now, Ben, on our timing screens. We don't actually even have to look at the timing screens to see the
leader being held up.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely right. And now you've got the two of them absolutely together. And as you said, when you're dealing with traffic, although actually the traffic is now also affecting Bonamy Grimes because he gained a lot there, but now he's lost a bit more again.
Yeah, that's Tarek Mahmood in the 77 Lister Jag, who's then eventually pulls out the way down the straight. But I was just about to say that Grimes set the fastest of anybody in the first sector. They've actually done a pretty identical middle sector, so it looked like it hampered Grimes a lot more, but potentially maybe not so much. And I think he's looking a bit more racy, a bit more comfortable with his Lotus Climax underneath him compared to Wills at the moment.
OK, well, let's keep an eye on this because there is still the potential. You get a bit of slipstream. These cars are don't produce too much drag, but because of the way they were built by Colin Chapman. But nonetheless, he can get a little bit of slipstream and try and close that gap up. 0.7 of a second as they went over the line. Let's see whether he can do any more. They're still pulling away from James Thorpe in a rather lonely third place now, James, because he's a long way ahead of the rest of the field. Alex Brundle, by the way, still down in 5th place. Andy Wallace is in 6th position, and John Spears, who had that little off, he's still running though. He's down in 8th position. Julian Mazoub in his car, that car that joined the Sadler Chevrolet, that is still down in 17th place, having started down at the back of the grid. And we're back to this little battle once again. This is for 11th place, with the number 21 car just still holding on. Michael Birch doing enough at this stage to fend him off. Back with the leaders, back with 2nd place car. Is he closer?
Oh, I don't know, but he might be in the moment, because our 31 Maserati is about to be lapped. He sends it down the inside. Is the door going to open at the final part of Woodcote? Yes, it does. So nicely through, and fastest overall first and middle sector for Grimes, who can almost get the smell of blood, smell of the victory as well, as he hones down on his opponent. 0.7 of a second was the gap. It's now down to 0.6, but we've only got 4 minutes of the race remaining, and as well as that, he's just set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, that was a good lap indeed, as you say. So it wasn't much quicker than the best lap that's been done by Roger Wills. They are incredibly similar in terms of their lap times, but that was impressive nonetheless that Bonamy Grimes is still pushing that hard and has set the fastest lap. So it's not over yet, and particularly with some more cars to lap in the remaining few minutes that we've got here, we could still see a change. This is all the fun and games of racing at Goodwood, and the correction required. And again, look, they're going to have to be a bit cautious going on to the Lamont Straight.
There's lots of corrections being taken place. There's our lovely 81 Ferrari. I think that's one of our lone Ferraris, isn't it, out on track. Michael Malone at the wheel of that. In racing first race at the very first revival, then all the way back in 1998. It crosses the line, but here we go, back
side by side. Look at this, a chance for Bonamy Grimes, but not quite to get fully ahead. That was as close as we've seen it so far, Alice.
It certainly was, and he's pulling over to defend. Maybe doesn't need to as much. That's going to hamper Will's exit as Grimes is touched right under the rear of the fellow Lotus Climax.
Here we go.
Out the toe, looks like to stop the legs down the straight.
He's going to have a go on the outside. Is he brave enough to brake late on the outside and go round the outside? He's having a go at it. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really skillful driving by Bonamy Grimes, but will he be able to hold on? So far, so good. But Roger Wills will not give up, and that was very impressive. He carried a lot of speed through Madwick. That is not easy, going in wide around another car, that double apex right-hander.
Yeah, super brave stuff. Later on the brakes, I actually thought Roger was still going to stick his nose in there, but thought better of it. And was there any contact? Oh, I think there was slight contact there, Ben. Let's have a little look. Was there? Yes, there was. So good save from the 29 in front, but they've still got to deal with the traffic. Another Maserati they've just cleared there. We've got 1 minute 45 seconds of the race remaining. It'll run till time. This battle, Ben, is not over yet.
It's not over yet, you're absolutely right. And that was very dramatic stuff, but they both got away with it, and really determined piece of overtaking there from Bonamy Grimes in that little bit of contact which he dealt with. And now Roger Wills finds himself back in 2nd place, but he's been doing a very, very good job.
Julian Majoub's in front of them, going to say, oh, that's going to slow the 29 down quite a bit. That's going to allow Roger to close back up. Julian's an experienced racer. He pulls out the way. Roger, I like, is still tucking in the slipstream of Julian, but actually Julian's maybe not seen them because he's going to turn into the corner.
He doesn't seem to be fully aware that they're behind him, so this is making it even more difficult, and this is going to give Roger Wills a chance to come back into the lead. They're almost side by side again, although just holding on is Bonamy Grimes in the green number 29. Yes, he gets past, and that was a tricky little section, but he has managed to hold on. I believe we're on the last lap because of the way the time is clicking away. The checkered flag will be coming out, And still, Roger Wills hasn't been able to get past Majoub, has he?
I mean, you can't settle with the back markers that they've still got to approach. But I think you're right, Ben, it is going to be the last lap. And Roger's still unable to get past Julian. He's going to send it down the inside lap now. But I think Roger will be thinking, well, we're on the last lap. There's going to be no chance now for me to catch Bonamy Grimes in the 29. But who knows? We've got our lone Ferrari, the 81, up there for him to navigate past, which he does so going down the straight. So he'll be nice. Roger's still not passing.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's thought, oh, I don't need this now. I've lost this win anyway. But I tell you what, Bonamy Grimes has done an absolutely superb job here today. Having taken pole but not getting the start off the line, he is heading up towards the checkered flag. So congratulations, Bonamy Grimes takes the victory in the Salvadori Cup at the members meeting. Second place in the end goes to Roger Wills, who led so much for that race but lost his position with a fantastic move by Bonamy Grimes, and then they did get a bit tangled up in traffic, and that gave Bonamy a chance to make a little bit more of a break. Third place is going to go to number 16, James Thorpe. That's what we're waiting for now. There it is. So third place going to James Thorpe, and it looks like in fourth place we are going to get number 12, Stuart Morley, who will be finishing in fourth place in his Lister Chevrolet Nobly. As we also see Alex Brundle then just behind that in fifth place, and Alex Brundle will be the first of the Jaguar D-types to go across the line. The battle for 11th is still going on though, isn't it?
It seems like this is going on the entire race. The 9 having a look at the outside. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Sean Lynn, should I say, is not quite close enough to attack on the brakes. He's got some company behind him as well. The number 41, who might have a look to go down the inside. No, thinks better of it. So I think this is how this battle's going to end, Ben.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I think that 11th place, yeah, it is going to the number 21 car of Michael Birch. He holds on after a good battle, actually, throughout that race. They had a good, fun race, and I think they will appreciate each other. Sean Lynn, who had started down in 16th, he ends up finishing in 12th, so he made some good places, and they had a good race. But our race winner certainly delivered extremely effectively and made a great move, a brave move down into Madrid and take the victory. Bonamy Grimes, with the Lotuses finishing first and second. The first of the Lister Jaguars was James Thorpe, but he was quite some way back by the end of that race. Even though he was on the front row with them at the start, the qualifying speed wasn't quite as quick, and it certainly wasn't quite as quick in the race itself. But